pretty quickly. And we've had this out for a couple weeks, and we've only gotten 2 in response, and only 1 prosecutor. So I don't know if the prosecutors are starting to steer away from this because of show me courts, or why the.
I don't think it's widely known that you went out.
What's that?
I don't think it's widely known in our circles that you're seeking some.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
But
we did it.
I don't know, I don't really know her, and I don't think I've ever had a case with her, so I'm not saying you shouldn't move forward with this.
How was this advertised?
This did go through the Daily Journal, and I'm concerned with if we've already started writing tickets for August 7th, and we have nobody to handle those tickets. As far as the prosecutor.
Well, now, our prosecutor has made the statement that he'll stay until he gets some money.
He still has not, but he hasn't signed off on this month, correct, Cindy?
Correct. He said he was pretty well done.
So now his offer to stay until we find somebody is no good.
I'm just saying what he told me. I mean, there's tickets back there for August that I can't enter or anything until after they're signed by a prosecuting attorney, and they're not.
So, I guess my question to the board is it, I know you're wanting to put it back out, is the rest of the board wanting to go this way? Or do we wanna go with Sierra Duffy? I wanna get your input on it before decisions made.
I think it needs to go back out.
Okay.
How much longer? Since everything's that far behind.
You can have a special meeting in 2 weeks just for that appointment process. It's a fairly quick meeting.
How long will it take to get it out in the papers? Any idea?
You talking advertising?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think if I do,
Pretty fast.
if you do the bar journal, or something along those lines, or if you just instruct me to get the word out.
Can we instruct you to get the word out?
Or at least suggested, because I wasn't gonna step on any toes. I figured, well, that's your process, you know. I haven't made it known that you're looking at it.
Okay, okay. We will hold off on Sierra Duffy, and see if we can get a couple more in, and we'll keep hers with us, and see what happens over the next 2 weeks. Okay. Next is decision on a judge. We've had 2 judges put in. One is Tony Dorsett, and one is Michael Randazzo. From what I'm understanding and the conversations I've had, I know that the city has already voted for the show me courts, and Randazzo says he will not participate with show me courts. He just flat refuses to, that's what he said. So,
I say we put this one out for another week.
Can we
Is
just
there-
get that out too?
Yeah, I mean,
is there any,
up to you what you want.
is there anything that anybody knows of Tony Dorsett? I haven't heard either way. I mean, people have heard of him from the area. He's got experience in Potosi, Jefferson County. That's Hillsborough is where he was at. But I haven't heard any good or bad either way on him. But again, I know we'll have to have another special meeting to try to figure out what we're gonna do in 2 weeks if we leave him, if we don't put him in there also. So is that what the board wants to do? that your recommendation?
What is the current pay for your municipal judge? You said, is it 1,500 for Mr. Goff?
For 1,500 for golf, and is it 1,000 or 1,500 for the judge?
15 for each, and it's just one session a month?
Yes.
Maybe I'd have to.
Okay, with that, we will put that out. And then we will have, as soon as that runs for the 2 weeks, we will see what we come up with on some more applications.
Also, do you have a contact with the Daily Journal for the advertising? Because I know you're a journalist, right? Can you give her a contact to talk to with the advertising?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. The last one we got up for tonight is the, discussion regarding policies and procedures. I think with everything that's been going on in the city, I don't think we've ever had just a conversation about what's expected of everybody, where they kind of lay. I had a discussion with the attorney last week to try to figure out how to move forward from some of the things that are going on with the city. And this was what we come up with, was try to just put it out and figure out what we need to do with, as far as how we're operating things. Would you like to fill in a little bit on what we talked about?
Sure, I mean, I guess, it seems that there's maybe some confusion from the employee's perspective, basically who's the boss. And I get that in a lot of municipalities, from time to time that I represent. And so especially in a city as small as this one, where we don't have a city manager or a city administrator that is here as a full-time employee, that is the man or woman that's in charge of all the employees, that it basically the buck stops there. The city administrator, which is the most common form of government, that city administrator works through the power of the legal power of the mayor. So that person, the mayor, is the chief executive of the city. And in a town this small, you don't have the funds to have a full-time city administrator and a part-time city administrator. So you really have two people that are running the day-to-day operations on the general operations of the city. That's the city clerk, who is the custodian of records and basically doing all the day-to-day operations of the management of the city, as far as the paperwork and the payroll and everything that she does, which is a big job. And the mayor is the chief executive of the city, so he is technically the one that's doing the employee reviews, the department heads, and then through the subordinates, and of course the board is involved in the hiring and disciplining and firing process as well. But as far as the board of aldermen as individuals, don't have any power at all. You only have power if you vote in a majority in a board meeting by passing a resolution or an ordinance on any particular issue. So, any one of you can't go to an employee, not that you have. I've not heard that you've done this or anybody has done it, but you can't go to an employee and say, hey, I want you to take care of the pothole on such and such street. I expect it to be done tomorrow. I'm not saying anybody's done that, but you certainly don't have authority to do it because you're not their boss. You're just an individual who happens to be elected to the board. And so I think with going forward, it's probably important to know how but like the employees don't really know who's in charge and who's, your elected officials and your leaders of the city, and you have to create a lot of influence. And as you should, and you should have a lot of input. But as far as the operation of the city, it's important to know that when you give very strong opinions directly to the staff, it can be confusing to them. Okay, who's the boss? Do I have to do what is being told to me? Even if it's phrased as, well, I think you should do this. Well, to put it bluntly, that in $1 will get you a cup of coffee or soda or something from a board member, because board members don't have the authority to actually tell anybody to do anything or discipline. So I think it's important to know that the mayor has the direct supervisory authority over the employees in the city. And it's important for the employees to know that as well. And just to make sure that that kind of process, when the board members in a majority feel it's important to take action, absolutely do it. It's an important meeting. And I think there's some overlapping, forces. This happens in every public entity. Especially when you have, people that are, take charge personalities and have good ideas. You just have to make sure that you're communicating in a way that everybody understands, okay, this is my point of view, but I'm not telling you what to do. I don't have the authority to do it. And it's important for the employees to know that on the other side as well. They can't take orders from individual board members. And I think, as this goes forward, once we have, Shauna more fully established as the city clerk, and she knows the ins and outs, and she can answer these questions that are being asked of her, I don't think there's any problem. She hasn't expressed anything to me, and nobody, in fact, no employees have expressed any issues, but to me directly. So I think it'll be a lot more smooth running as it goes forward when you have a city clerk that is more established and is a confident. I think you lack confidence, but when you're just new doing it, it's hard to know all the answers, to know, okay, I can do this or I can't do that. And I just think that's important to understand. And if there are problems with the management of the city, has to go through the mayor, because the mayor also has to play his role in actually supervising the employees and making sure that, and it's hard for a part-time mayor who has another outside job, but he's gotta have to do it. Which means if there is a problem with effective supervision of the employees, it's on the mayor's shoulders to do it and to take whatever disciplinary action is necessary. So but it's tough in a small town. And I think it's important for everybody to understand those rules and how hard it is. I've been an elected official before. I was on a school board, and it was hard for me when I was first on the board to know, well, nobody really cares what I think as an individual. It's just when I'm at the board that it means anything. Because you think, well, I was elected to the school board, I can make changes. Well, I couldn't make changes. And that's very frustrating. But it's also the nature of the political entity. So that's the synopsis that I gave the mayor, because he's trying to figure out his role needs to be all these different competing interests and requests, and employees, and okay, who's at fault for X, or who's responsible for correcting these things, and so that's the discussion we have, and that's the discussion I have with every public entity from time to time as these issues kind of come up. It's just important to know, as a board member, bring it to the board, because otherwise, the only real privilege you have as a board member outside of a board meeting is your access to information, because you have access to all the closed records and all that, where a member of the public wouldn't. But other than that, you're just basically a member of the public who has influence in board meetings.
I guess trying to move forward, that we've discussed it tonight before, and we've had a divide, and it's a divide amongst the board, it's a divide amongst the employees, it's a divide amongst the city. It's gotten, this past year has been very rough. For 5 years, I truly enjoyed exactly what I did. I enjoyed coming in here every morning, being here, however much time I spend in here every day, doing things. And within this past year, there's been it's like I said, it's just a divide that I can't quite figure out how to correct, and that's what I would like to put out to the board and try to figure out how to move past. I know, as I said, Jesse's stuff, that he does fine with it. I think some of it is put out, and without all the accuracy with it, it has created a divide over the past few months, especially, that I would truly like to see, because I don't like being personally attacked. I don't like my family being personally attacked. I don't like my friends being personally attacked. That's where I draw the line. And I wanna know, how do we need to move past what's there? We've got a city to run. We've got a budget to figure out. We've got people asking questions. We got a fire department that's dependent on us. The police department depends on us. And if we can't effectively communicate as a board, then we're really not doing anything. We are literally we're coming to a meeting every month, collecting our $100 or whatever it is, and going home, because from month to month, we're not communicating on what's going on at all. And that's what I have tried for the last month and a half to figure out. I've struggled with it, trying to figure out how can I get it done. I've spoke with the attorney. I've done everything I can to try to figure this out, and I would like the board to give some input. Tell me what we need to do. Tell me where we need to go back to I know where we need to go back to, and it was a year and a half ago when everything ran smooth, we could communicate throughout the weeks and keep each other informed on things, and it seems like lately we don't inform each other, we inform Facebook, or we inform this page or that page, and it never gets, it's a disaster. No offense to you and what you're doing, like I said, I think you're doing great, but you've seen it, whenever you put it on there, the comments start, and there's no stopping it once it starts. So, I'm the type of person, I'd rather sit right here and figure it out and say, this is what's going on, this is what needs to be going on, and this is what we need to do to fix it. Because as we stand right now, we are not doing the citizens any good, we're not doing fire department, we're not doing anything any good for anybody, except spinning our wheels.
Quite frankly, if I can speak on behalf of the entire fire department and anybody who's ever walked through those doors up there and is currently on our roster, if we cannot have and get the things that we need, we cannot tend to the city and everyone around us that we serve. We serve more than just Leadington. It is our priority, but we serve everybody from here to Iron County, Washco, Madison County, and all around. And if we can't get the things that we need, and I understand money's an issue at times, I get it. But if we can't all come to agreeance on something and just get something done, we can't. Us operating efficiently is taking care of the citizens every single time. And there's times where we cannot do that, and that's not okay.
It's the same within the city, it's the same with your employees, it's the same all across the board. When we can't operate anything efficiently like we have not been doing for a while, it's not going to do anybody any good. So,
Mayor, I think another good start is, and Mr. Bishop, maybe you can help me with this, the city's still obligated to provide an environment that is free from harassment, retaliation, or anything like that, right?
yeah,
That's a good place to start. We need to start looking at if the employees get harassed or retaliated against for whatever reason. There's, retaliation could be a firing, so I think we need to look into that and make sure we're following those guidelines, and everybody knows where the legal setting is for those guidelines. When we retaliate against an employee, that's not a good thing to do.
and I don't expect every employee to come straight to me with things. If they feel comfortable with Debbie or Gary or Cassie or Christy, that's fine. But I would like that, and the same goes when they come to me, I would like to be able to relay that information to the board so we can handle this as a board and not as me doing something or them doing something.
If the board members step out on their own, can they be held liable and not covered under the MOPERM because they stepped out on something on their own that wasn't authorized through the board? That wasn't approved, can they be held legally liable?
I'm not gonna be providing legal advice, to be honest.
Okay.
Don't worry, I've already looked it up.
But that in itself is what I'm saying. We can't operate individually, even though we are individuals. We can't operate individually and do it like it needs to be done. So, like I said, I think there's just been a lot of stuff thrown out, a lot of names and accusations thrown out. Some may be true, some don't. I don't know because I don't read all of it. Not pointing at you for any particular reason. You're there, but I need to know from the board what we need to do to move forward, because we cannot operate as we are operating. So,
Well, you want me to comment?
fire away.
You wanna wait for Debbie to come back in?
She had to go get her granddaughter to the store.
Her person's down there, by the way.
If you start to speak and see what happens.
Go get her. She's there by herself. I'll be back.
Basically, we went from a city clerk that run the entire city up to and including writing our budgets.
Contacting members.
Communication was there, and she basically run the city like a city administrator, and we don't have that anymore.
Did she train somebody? Were they doing what they were supposed to do?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but if we could allow the board to conduct their own board meeting without any more comments from the audience, we appreciate it.
Until we can get someone, again, similar to like what we have, it's gonna be a struggle. And, the accountability the bookkeeping, the receipts, matching statements. She's so busy, she can't keep up with anything right now. And, you know, we went from basically a city manager to just nothing but, and I don't mean that, to a part-time mayor. And with him working a job, most all of us work jobs, it's pretty hard to get in there. And I mean, he couldn't take off for a week to run City Hall, or 2 weeks or whatever. So, you know, I think that once we get Shauna trained, I think she's gonna do okay. But it will take everybody working together. And, once she learns, I think she'll be all right.
But I don't want Shauna to be the pivotal point of our connection. I don't wanna make anybody in that spot, because that's what we are. That we are a board, we're a group of people that's supposed to work together to benefit everybody, and if we put Shauna in the middle.
Mayor, in all due respect, we don't have a budget, and there ain't been a soul step up to write a budget.
Because you fired the people who knew how to do it.
Sir, I need you to stop.
Okay, so we don't have a budget, and I'm off. And I know that we used the increase, and we was waiting for numbers from the Grand Rapids, but we still don't have a budget. Yeah, I'm just that person. I'm willing to sit down with the mayor and take 4 or 5 hours and work on the budget, but that would be a start. We don't have anybody running the city, period. We can't even give her a reason why these charges are being made, because nobody wants to step up and say, I'm the chief executive officer, and I am responsible for all these charges, I just haven't looked into them yet. I'm a single board member, the rest of us are. I've looked at them. I know you've asked the questions. A lot of people ask questions. I'm a single board member. I can't speak for why all these things are going on. As the chief executive officer, as you just explained he was, I feel like it's his duty to make sure we have a budget, to make sure that we are hiring people fast, not waiting 2 or 3 weeks. We've had applications sitting in there for at least 2 weeks that I know of for a maintenance man. We still don't have a maintenance man because nobody's called a meeting. He's the chief executive officer. Call a meeting. I mean, as soon as you get me a couple applications in there for a maintenance man, we'll hire one. A part-time city clerk, if we can afford it, we'll hire one. But the decision has not been made to call a meeting to do this. I'm a single board member. I can request a meeting, but that's as far as it goes. He is a busy man, and he works. You know.
Yeah. But my question, and this was the one thing I asked before, is where, you know, we're at this point now, but there's a lot of things go on in the day-to-day city stuff that I'm handling, and the chief is handling, and Shauna's handling, but nobody seems to come in for any of that. There's no.
Okay, here's a good example. A week ago, we needed a judge. Cindy, you called me, right? We needed a judge for Tuesday. It's his job to get a judge, but he didn't do it. So I came in here on Monday, and I looked at the applications. I picked the most experienced man, I sent it to him. Okay, I asked for permission to do a phone vote so we would have somebody for court tomorrow. I did that, and I did set up the phone vote. That's not my job, that's the chief executive officer's job.
I was out of town.
I don't care, Dustin, I'm tired of the excuses myself. That's an excuse. You could have done that Thursday, you could have done that Friday. Court, I mean, everybody knows that we was having court on Tuesday. And I know you're busy, and I know you work, and I respect that. But I had to come up here to do it, and I didn't mind to do it. It wasn't a big deal. But what I'm saying is, we went from somebody that did everything for this board, and the mayor really just didn't have to do anything besides sign papers, make a few decisions, to where now we're in a position to where somebody's gotta step up and do something. And if I hadn't been up here, if Cindy hadn't made that phone call, we wouldn't have had court last week. You know, so it's gonna take working together. But if you're gonna be the chief executive officer, be the chief executive officer. Have some answers for these people when they walk in these doors. The time clock came in, you're the chief executive officer. Call somebody.
You said you were gonna put that in. You said you were gonna install that the day it come in, not me. That was you, and that was in that.
Okay, my point is
I think it was wasting money last
you're not
Great
volunteering to do it.
I volunteer for every damn thing in this city, Jesus, I freaking snow, I plow the snow.
There's no need to cuss me, Dustin.
Well, you're accusing me of something.
Cindy, you've got monitors sitting back there, a stand, a drop box. It's still sitting in the boxes. Nobody stepped up. Dustin, call somebody. The board, I mean.
Well, you gotta have
Nobody's
money to
calling
send
nobody.
this, so if you ain't got money that we're so far behind, then we can't afford it. It's like that, the
Well-
scanner in the hand thing, $400 and we're 42,000 debt. I think that could've waited.
The time clock, let's not forget that we had employees writing down 3 days worth of hours that were not worked, hoping they
And
were
100%
working
of
those,
And I agree with that.
hoping
Guess
they,
what?
I agree
no,
with that.
I wanna explain this.
No, I understand what you're explaining.
She doesn't, because she doesn't believe we needed a time clock, so
No.
and that's fine, because I am open to anybody's opinion of how they feel. I don't walk out of here and feel any differently about you for that. But when you have employees that are writing their time down for 3 days in advance on a Thursday, because they need to write them for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that it was not worked, then you also have them not even writing their time down for those days that they did work, and they come in once a week, and they write their time down for that whole week before, adding on those 3 days. Do you understand what I'm saying that they were doing? They were not keeping track of their hours, period. Then at the last minute, writing those hours down that they worked in those 4 days, plus trying to figure out what they were gonna work the next 3 days on a card to turn in for their payroll.
Well.
How could they keep track of their overtime?
But if
they
they're
were
out in the
doing
middle of the
this?
thing, how are they gonna come in here and punch in? And they need an overlap thing. If one's out on the job, a wreck or something,
They
they
weren't
need to.
even writing their time down of what they were working.
Okay.
How could they keep track of all this overtime? The mayor thought there was not any overtime being spent. But when there's, look, there is so much overtime that's been used that it's unreal. Part of it's grant overtime. Grants are paid by people's taxes. That is not free money.
Okay.
Overtime is paid by the city. There's 2 types of overtime being collected on payroll. There was a huge need for some type of time clock system.
Well, it's like this, Mayor. If you're gonna spend $125 at Red Lobster, she asked you a question, who'd you feed? I mean, just who'd you feed?
We had 3 of the, I think it was 1 from Leadwood and then 2 from Lynn Creek that we eat together every year.
Okay, that wasn't approved by the board. The board did not know nothing about it, okay? Can filling this gas tank up when we come back, I wasn't here.
I didn't fill mine. I filled it up when I left. I told you when I come back, I filled up.
Take note that she has left the meeting twice now before they close.
What was that?
So this meeting is now adjourned at 7:50 because of lack of quorum. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves, but the minutes should reflect the meeting ended at 7:50.
Okay. You mind stepping around?